Now on Denver 7 News, storms are moving across the Front Range, bringing a quick weekend cool down. Our Denver 7 weather team is tracking how long it will last.
Last week, we found out that they got another shipment, and it allowed us to host a monkeypox vaccine clinic.
Plus, Colorado has an extremely limited monkeypox vaccine supply, but now the state is finally starting to get shots into arms. We're taking you inside one of the first clinics open to the public.
It is impressive to go 70 miles.
And racing for recovery. Hear the inspiring story of an athlete taking on his 99th triathlon to help others struggling with addiction.
I feel obligated to give it back, and that's why I'm so passionate about Ironman.
We begin tonight with a live look outside with some ominous looking clouds starting to move in. After a hot start to the weekend, we are getting ready for a big change. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Allen. Let's get right over to Katie LaSalle. Katie, the next 24 hours looking pretty stormy.
Hi, Jacqueline. Yes, and we are seeing some storm activity across the Front Range as we speak. Live from City Park, clouds are increasing. You can see some widespread isolated storms. One just rolling through Brighton at this hour, off to the west in Boulder, picking up some rain. A storm over Nederland and abundant lightning right now making its way into Agate and Deer Trail. Good news is this evening, risk of any severe weather will stay low. We'll just see those storms gradually taper off. Tomorrow, though, it's going to be heavy rain we're expecting into the late afternoon and early evening hours, and temperatures will be a lot cooler. We get a big break from the heat with daytime highs only reaching the low 80s. Now, the National Weather Service has issued a flash flood watch, not in effect yet, but starting at 2 o'clock, lasting until Monday at midnight. All of the I-25 corridor west into the foothills with the potential for heavy rain that could lead to some localized flooding, and especially over any burn-scarred areas off to our west. You can see after about 4:30, that's when we're expecting the activity. So dry for the first half of the Sunday. We'll talk more about how much rain we're expecting and the warm-up that's eventually coming next week, still to come.
A lot going on. Thank you, Katie. A suspected drunk driver is behind bars tonight after a crash that killed 2 teenagers and sent 2 others to the hospital. CSP tells us this happened around midnight south of Castle Rock at the intersection of Territorial Road and the I-25 frontage road. All 4 teens were taken to the hospital where 2 of them died. Another passenger had serious injuries. The driver had moderate injuries, and CSP arrested 25-year-old Ricky Avalos Trujillo of Colorado Springs, charging him with DUI and vehicular homicide. Aurora police are still searching for a hit-and-run driver who killed a 41-year-old man and his 2 dogs. Jason Lyman works overnights at Boeing. He took his dogs out for a walk around 2:30 a.m. Thursday, but he never made it back to his wife and young children. Neighbors say they are in shock.
It just broke my heart this morning to read that, because I saw him just the other day coming home late from my sister's house, and I was thinking, oh, how nice that he probably comes home late from work and he makes sure that he takes his little dogs out.
Aurora police say the driver swerved onto the sidewalk near Reservoir and Mansfield, just south of Hampton and Tower Road, hitting and killing Jason Lyman and his 2 dogs. Now, police say the driver ditched the Toyota Sequoia and fled. Lyman's best friend is pleading for that driver to come forward.
The best thing you can do is turn yourself in. I understand it may have been a mistake, but don't compound it. Do not compound it by hiding. You need to come in and you need to make restitution for what you've done, even if it was a mistake. We all have choices. This is your choice.
That SUV has not been reported stolen. Aurora police say they are working to contact the owner, and a reward is being offered for information leading to an arrest in Lyman's death. Anyone with information can reach out to Metro Denver Crime Stoppers. That number is here on your screen, 720-913-STOP, and you can remain anonymous. Adams County Sheriff's deputies shot and killed a man while trying to take him into custody. This happened yesterday afternoon in Northglenn, near the intersection of Malley and Highline Drive, just east of I-25. Deputies say the man had a warrant out for attempted murder, and they shot and killed him while trying to arrest him. They also say he had a gun on him. One of the deputies received minor injuries. In 2 weeks, we could get the body camera video showing exactly what happened when Denver police shot at a suspect in a crowd downtown last month. 6 innocent bystanders were injured in that shooting, and police say they fired after the suspect flashed a gun at them as the bars were letting out. Now, Denver police say the ultimate decision on the video's release is up to the Department of Safety, along with the suspect's legal team. If that video is released, we will be sure to share it on air and on thedenverchannel.com. At last check, Colorado is reporting 80 confirmed cases of monkeypox. The state is hoping to use its extremely limited vaccine supply on the population at highest risk. Denver 7's Patrick Perez went to Aurora Pride, where Tri-County Health set up a clinic to do just that.
With the only beachfront pride in Colorado,
You can't beat this.
Aurora Pride is celebrating its biggest year yet with an estimated 10,000 people in attendance.
Remember the first one and I was like, oh, Aurora, really? But this is awesome. This is actually really, it's a nice different event than normal Pride.
Among the booths, vendors, and health resources, a Tri-County Health trailer offering HIV testing and more. And new this year, a monkeypox vaccine clinic. Tri-County Health is hoping to give out more than 400 doses. This is the last of 3 vaccine clinics so far this summer. The goal is to meet people where they are.
No, I think it's great that they're doing that here.
Mike Mays got his shot at a different clinic Saturday morning. He says to have the shots available here at Aurora Pride means a lot to the community, and the demand we saw proves it.
I mean, I think the government has failed us many times, and they're kind of behind the ball on this one. But the fact that they're trying to catch up, very important.
Executive Director Xander Oklar says he and Tri-County Health work closely together to make it happen.
So many people have been, hunting and searching for this vaccine. And so we're so happy that they can come here, get vaccinated, and be safe.
Community members say there is a growing stigma similar to what they dealt with during the HIV/AIDS crisis.
Unfortunately, I think it's just part of the society that we have to deal with.
But the focus, they say, should be on the facts that anyone can get monkeypox and that thankfully there are resources available to prevent and treat it.
The important thing is that we know it's out there, we have vaccines, and to get people vaccinated to keep people safe. That is most important.
In Arapahoe County, Patrick Perez, Denver 7.
And the White House is scrambling to make more monkeypox vaccine doses available to the public. For now, officials say there are more than 1 million on the way to the states, but that is not enough to cover everyone who's eligible. The CDC estimates around 1.7 million Americans are at high risk. Now, the FDA is looking into whether it can stretch the vaccine supply by pulling 5 doses out of a 1-dose vial.
This is pretty common in medicine. We learn new things about vaccines, about treatments, about dosing, and that's what the FDA is looking at right now. Number one goal is to make sure the vaccines remain effective and safe.
And right now, more than 7,500 cases have been reported in 48 states, with most of those cases being in New York City. President Biden is wrapping up a week full of crucial economic victories. Those range from an above-average jobs report to getting all 50 Democratic senators to agree on his major climate and health care legislation. ABC's M. Nguyen has the latest from Washington.
The Senate expected to begin a marathon debate and voting session Saturday on the Democrats' major climate and health care legislation. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer did not speculate on when the Senate might pass the bill and send it to the House for consideration, but called the legislation a very big deal.
The American people are going to learn an unmistakable truth about this proposal. It was written first and foremost with the American people in mind. It reduces inflation, it lowers their costs, and it fights climate change.
Saturday's voting comes after Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema, the last Democratic holdout, announced she's ready to move forward after the party leaders agreed to scale back some of their tax proposals. The bill, which Democrats are calling the Inflation Reduction Act, would be the largest investment in fighting climate change in U.S. history and aims to lower health care premiums and prescription costs, and would be paid for by raising taxes on big corporations and the wealthiest Americans. President Biden believes the bill will bring down inflation and save Americans money, but Republicans disagree.
Democrats' bill will do nothing to meaningfully cut inflation. Hundreds of billions of dollars in tax hikes on a struggling economy will help kill American jobs.
If passed, the bill will give Democrats another major legislative victory ahead of November's midterms. The president is already touting Friday's jobs report that showed the economy added 528,000 jobs in July, doubling Wall Street's expectations.
Today, there are more people working in America than before the pandemic began. In fact, there are more people working in America than any point in American history.
Still, inflation is at a 40-year high despite 4 interest rate hikes from the Federal Reserve. The Fed is looking to control inflation without tipping the U.S. into a recession, but finding that perfect balance is difficult. M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
For many Colorado kids, this is their last weekend of summer vacation. Hard to believe, but that's right. It is back to school time already, and some districts are starting as soon as this Monday. So here's a look when some of the largest metro districts are starting. Douglas County schools will begin this Sunday, August 8th. Aurora and Adams start the next day. Adams 14 start the next day. 27J and Greeley-Evans start this upcoming Thursday, and our largest districts, Jeffco and Denver, start later in the month. Denver 7 is helping Colorado kids get ready for school. Today, we helped pack dozens of backpacks full of school supplies as part of our Pack a Backpack campaign. The Salvation Army, along with some Denver 7 volunteers, will distribute these to families across the Front Range starting Monday. In total, about 3,000 backpacks will be given out to students. Hundreds of athletes competed in the Ironman race in Boulder this morning. It is an impressive event, swimming, biking, and running more than 70 miles. But even more impressive than that race are the people taking part. Denver 7's Christian Lopez introduces us to one competitor making an important milestone today.
It's not an easy race, but it is a fun one to watch.
70.3.
Hundreds of triathletes from near and far participated in Ironman 70.3 in Boulder Saturday morning, with their loved ones cheering them on.
It is impressive to go 70 miles. I joke that I don't want to drive 70 miles, and to swim and bike and run, it is such an accomplishment for these athletes.
Al Consemi flew in all the way from Atlanta to support his son, who was competing in his second Ironman.
My heart was leaping out of my chest as I saw him go by. It was just a great feeling as a parent.
For another athlete we met, this event marked a special milestone. Ironman 70.3 is a triathlon that includes biking, running, and swimming. And for one man, the race was extra meaningful today. This is his 99th Ironman event that he's participated in over the last 20 years.
And I'm just here to give a message of hope to other people.
Todd Crandall says this event helped him overcome years of family trauma.
I come from a 13-year addiction to drugs and alcohol. I got sober in April of 1993 after receiving my third drunk driving charge of my mom's suicide from her drug addiction, my uncle's suicide from his drug addiction, my aunt's suicide.
Eventually starting a nonprofit, Racing for Recovery, where he's helping others who are struggling with addiction.
I'm grateful just to be alive, let alone to live the life that I live, and I feel obligated to give it back. And that's why I'm so passionate about Ironman, about Racing for Recovery, because to me, life is about service to other people in need. And that's what we're here to do.
Crandall says he'll compete in his 100th Ironman race in Hawaii this October. And he hopes to continue helping those who are going through the same struggles that he went through years ago. We will post a link to that nonprofit on our website, thedenverchannel.com. Reporting in Boulder, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
What an inspiration. Thank you, Kristen. Now coming up, a Colorado wolf sanctuary desperately needs to expand and how you can help move them into a bigger and better home. Plus, Rocky Ford cantaloupes, they're already hitting store shelves. Why it's going to be a few more weeks before the watermelons can join them.